in order to get compliance. In this case, I don't know why you wouldn't believe someone who's behaved. I mean, there's been documentaries done long before he was even elected the first time about all of the things he did over his life, the bone spurs, everything. Okay. So I don't know why it's taken so long for now the pastors, maybe they wanted to see the good in everyone, to finally say, this is probably not our jam.
Yeah.
We might want to move away from this, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And you like, if there was going to be a movement away from him, like, come on, the church is like, you guys have a book that tells you what you're supposed to believe. Trump didn't write it, by the way. It's not the art of the deal. And Trump is so clearly not one of them. He doesn't give a damn about any of this stuff, and he commits all of the sins enthusiastically. He obviously worships money. Like, you guys were warned that an antichrist would come. You were warned for thousands of years. And now some people are like,
asked him, sorry, John.
What's
remember
that?
When they asked him which was his favorite Bible verse?
I remember, yeah. Or was he more of an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy? And he couldn't just pick one. You could have said either and you would have gotten that right. He's a caricature of himself, and hopefully some people are waking up to it. In any event, Sharon, it has been a pleasure to have you here on Big News Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine. Enjoyed the background. Loved it. Great show.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, thank you in advance. Sharon is going to be leading an episode of the Damage Report next week during my time off. So thank you for that, and I'll be tuning in.
Oh God, pressure.
A little bit. Anyway, thank you everybody out there. Jackson White's going to be on the show tomorrow, so definitely join us for that. For now, though, stay safe out there. Stay sane out there. I'll see you soon.
Welcome. It's indisputable. I'm your host, Rashad Richey. Good to be with you. We have a lot on the agenda today. Breaking down news of the day, none other than our dear sister, the Honorable Nina Turner. Always fascinating to have her brilliance. Top story of the day, a pastor tells the congregation, do not give money to the church, give money to each other because of this failed administration. I am proud to say that pastor happens to be a dear friend of both Senator Turner and myself. Here it is.
Since March, 300,000 black women have lost their jobs. Knowing that this is the highest unemployment rate for black people in over 15 years. Knowing that government workers and government contractors have been furloughed and have not received a check, even while senators and congresspeople are receiving theirs. Knowing that 43 million people are not receiving food benefits, the Holy Spirit arrested me in prayer. I was on a plane headed to Chicago, and the Lord dropped in my spirit, and I want you to hear the heart of your pastor, that I didn't feel in good conscience or in good faith or in good face that it would be appropriate today for me to do an over and above offering. I didn't feel like it would be right.
He said he didn't feel like it would be right to ask the congregation for an offering during this phase. What's unfortunate is that, as I've said before, it becomes double taxation because you've already paid the bill in order for the government to do the deal, which is to take care of people who work and should be paid. And for those who have paid into the system and are out of work, they're only getting an ROI, return on investment. Nobody's getting a handout. Put them up for a mask. If you remember, we've had Pastor Jamal Bryant, dear friend, on the program many times. Pastor Jamal Bryant, who leads the New Birth Church in Georgia, revealed how his church will support communities impacted by the government shutdown, SNAP benefit freeze, and the climbing unemployment rates. Instead of monetary offerings, Pastor Bryant asked the congregation to bring in canned food donations every Sunday in November to supply its King's Table drive-through food distribution initiative, which offers free groceries to those who are in need, anyone who is in need. States are also joining the fight. 25 states have sued this administration in order to ensure that their people do not starve. Let's get into it. A coalition of officials from half of the states and the District of Columbia have now officially sued the Donald Trump administration on Tuesday over the suspension of food stamp benefits amid the ongoing government shutdown, as millions of Americans brace for a disruption in federal food aid in the coming days. The states, which by the way include California, New York, Pennsylvania, are asking a federal judge in Massachusetts to order the Department of Agriculture to provide benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for November, including by tapping into a contingency fund to ensure the assistance continues to flow to more than 25 million people living within their borders. They argue that the administration's decision to cut off food stamp payments, which are provided to roughly 42 million people nationwide, is unlawful. It threatens to deprive millions of Americans of essential food benefits that help protect against food insecurity and hunger. Let's be very clear about the statutory framework. Based on statute, the administration can argue they are well within their operational guideline in order to do this. But see, even with that, there's something, Justice, that can shock the conscience so much that in order to do justice, we must lay aside a technical element of law in order to fulfill the spirit or the essence of why the law is there. The Supreme Court has ruled this way before. Federal courts have ruled this way before. Other courts, local jurisdictions, have ruled this way before. Hell, we have judges that will suspend a sentence in a criminal case because they believe the jury got it wrong. So understand, judges have a lot of authority here in these United States of America. We have an administration who's willing to break the law to enrich themselves, but they won't follow the law to enrich you. That's what you have. They are the most creative individuals when it comes to figuring out how to break the law in order to empower their friends, in order to empower billionaires, and to disempower you. But they can't figure out how to follow the law just so that you can get exactly what you've already put into the system, just a percentage of it coming back to you. Quote, shutting off SNAP will cause deterioration, public health, and well-being, state officials wrote in their lawsuit. Ultimately, the states will bear costs associated with many of these harms. The loss of SNAP benefits leads to food insecurity, hunger, malnutrition, which are associated with numerous negative health outcomes in children, such as poor concentration, decreased cognitive function, fatigue, depression, and behavioral problems. The argument that the states are making is an argument to shock the conscience. Understanding the cause and effect, understanding the ripple effect of such an allowance of law. You see, we all exist in an ecosystem. So while you may argue about the mom and pop's grocery store, understand that they are in part empowered by the consumers that frequent that store. While we can debate about the use of SNAP benefits, there is no debate that corporate welfare is still alive and well. And there's even thievery in that. So while every system has elements of misuse, they rather you focus on the 2%, maybe 1% of misuse of a system rather than the 98%, 99% of fair and effective use of a system that those people have already paid into. The states involved in the suit include Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin. As the government shutdown continues to drag on, the Trump administration announced last week that federal food aid will not go out on November 1st after the Department of Agriculture declined to tap into roughly $5 billion in contingency funds to keep benefits through the food stamp program flowing. This same administration made some backyard deal with a billionaire named Timothy to give them $130 million to satisfy part of a pay cycle for the U.S. military that will not be sustainable and is likely illegal given the appropriations rule in the U.S. Congress. But they can't figure out how to tap into a reserve that's already available in order to make sure that American citizens do not starve. I agree with Pastor Jamal Bryant when he says this is the first president who has actively starved his own citizens. The agency blamed Democrats for failing to back a House passed stopgap bill to fund the government, writing on his website that, quote, the well has run dry. Quote, we are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. Spokesperson for the USDA said in a response to the lawsuit, quote, continue to hold out for the far left wing of the party or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive timely, week, and SNAP allotments. The agency's plan for a lapse in funding issued September 30th said that multi-year contingency funds could be used for state administrative expenses to ensure states could continue SNAP operations during a shutdown and were also available, quote, to fund participant benefits in the event of a funding lapse. But a memo from the USDA issued last week said, quote, contingency funds are not legally available to cover regular benefits and are instead meant for things like assisting people in disaster areas. The document cited Hurricane Melissa, which made landfall Tuesday in Jamaica as one of the strongest Atlantic storms ever recorded. Still, state officials argued in their lawsuit that the USDA's claim that the contingency funds cannot be used to fund food benefits during a lapse in federal funding violates the text of congressional appropriations law and is a, quote, dramatic change in its own policy because recently they stated the opposite. They noted that during the last shutdown, USDA said in guidance, which was January 2019, that, quote, limited funding is available. Limited funding is available from the contingency that can be used to provide benefits for February. They are actively, intentionally, illegally, maliciously starving human beings. Quote, millions of Americans are about to go hungry because the federal government has chosen to withhold food assistance it is legally obligated to provide. New York Attorney General Letitia James said in a statement, quote, SNAP is one of our nation's most effective tools to fight hunger, and the USDA has the money to keep it running. There is no excuse for this administration to abandon families who rely on SNAP or food stamps as a lifeline. The federal government must do its job to protect families. The Trump administration has attempted to ramp up the pressure on Democrats to reopen the government, announcing cancellations of federal funding for programs in blue states and issuing layoff notices to thousands of federal workers. What are they doing here? It is very simple. They are the villains, Republicans. Democrats, not too far from it. But there's a difference, a distinction here. The Trump administration, they are intentionally utilizing people and their suffering in order to pass even more dangerous and adverse policy in this country. So they are utilizing the suffering of people to get Democrats to say yes to policies that will make that suffering basically law. So you are faced with a bad decision and a worse. The ongoing shutdown, which we're now in day 28, is now the second longest on record. Ahead of the approaching halt of food stamp payments, some states said they will work to keep assistance going to beneficiaries. Roughly 1 in 8 Americans receive food stamps. Recipients receive on average a payment of $187 on prepaid cards that can be used to buy groceries. The impending lapse in food stamps has raised concerns among Republicans and Democrats. Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri introduced legislation last week that aims to ensure continued funding for the food assistance program during the shutdown. The plan has garnered support from 10 other Republican senators and Democratic Senator Peter Welch of Vermont. Democrats have separately urged, the Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins to use the agency's reserve funds to help cover food stamp benefits next month, though she has declined to do so. I know some congressional Democrats have already done this. I would encourage every member of Congress to suspend their allocation of pay in order to support organizations who are trying to fix a problem that should never be a problem in the first place because we paid for it not to be a problem. This is day 28. If you voted for Trump, you should know now you made a mistake. I'm not here to moralize against you. I'm here to reason with you. You should know now this has nothing to do with the agenda you believed that he would bring, whatever that agenda may be. If it was Epstein or if it had to do with white versus black, this man is engaging in classism. He doesn't care how many white people are on SNAP benefits. He looks at you as classless. And only him and his friends, well, they get the fat of the land. They get all of the perks. Hell, he gave a billionaire a damn government job named Elon Musk, and while firing qualified government workers, i.e. black women from the Department of Education and beyond, at the same time. Senator Turner, I know you have a lot to say, being one who has worked to solve these problems in your state and nationally. What say you?
Yes, Dr. Ritchie. So thank you for laying that out. I mean, this story deserves, we could do a whole show on this story. As you were talking, I was just writing copious notes. This is cruel and very disturbing. Cruel and unusual punishment, Doc, I thought was against the law, but you tell me.
That's right.
And I know we think about that in terms of going through the court system. I need people to think about that now in the way that this administration is comporting itself. Big ups or amen and hallelujah to Dr. Jamal Bryant and the First Lady and also the congregants of New Birth for him saying, hey, we're going to give to each other. And Dr. Rich, you laid it out. We already paid for the federal government to do this. So philanthropy is supposed to be extra.
That's right.
Not supposed to be necessary. So I was thinking about how, I got a whole page of notes, but I was thinking about how, as you were laying this out, the USDA said that they cannot use the $5 billion worth of contingency plan because basically that would be out of order, out of the norm. Meanwhile, millions of people are about to starve based on or have inadequate portions of food based on a decision or a non-decision that this president is making. But Doc, I was thinking about a segment I just saw yesterday about President Donald J. Trump running in 2028. And I'm gonna tell you, Doc, what the tagline was. Rewrite the rules. I want our audience to rest on that. Now, this man and his team are thinking about overriding the Constitution so that this man can run again. The tagline is rewrite the rules. Well, Doc, I'm asking the Trump administration, if it is true what the USDA is saying, which I don't believe it, that the $5 billion in contingency funds, it would be out of order for them to use it. I want them to rewrite the rules.
Right.
Right now, in real time. And none of these people better come out and say Happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas to their soul. Not one. Because they are using poor and primarily working class people in this country as pawns for some political gain.
Right.
Now, you're right, Doc, about the Democrats. Now, the Republicans are in charge. They control all the two houses of Congress and they control the presidency. So y'all don't let them play in your face and blame this on Democrats. It's not Democrats' fault in this moment. What I blame Democrats for is not winning in 2024.
That's right. Very well
That's
said.
what I blame them for, because they feckless and they don't know how to use power. That's what I blame them for. But this moment right here, it's on the Republicans.
Very well said. And you are so right about Democrats not knowing how to use power when they have it. They say, vote for me, I set you free. They've been telling us this for decades. And then when they get in the position to do so, they would then say, well, you know, I'm not a king. Or we don't have enough Democrats, even though you have the majority and the presidency. We could have solved these problems a long time ago. So I'm with you. And obviously we will continue to stay on top of this. And by the way, for those who are going to comment in the section about unemployment, do a little research first. The vast majority of individuals who receive SNAP benefits are gainfully employed.
Doc, and another point, and so what if they were?
Right.
We just sent, what, $40 billion over there somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
We give so much money away in war, and I don't hear, I won't say anybody, but y'all don't puff up in the chest over that, but you want to puff up in the chest over your neighbor getting something. Something is wrong with that, Doc. And the fact that we have allowed, not just in the Trump administration, but this mindset within the American psyche of an individual, rugged individualism. It's a lie from the pit of hell. All of us are somewhere because somebody helped us get there.
That's right.
And I would much rather have my government tax dollars used for universal health care, universal child care, making sure that every child in this country gets breakfast and lunch in school, than to use it to go over there and bomb other people's baby. Doc, I'm glad you said something. I'm sick and tired of these people, other than politicians, these everyday Americans thinking that they somehow better than somebody else. The safety net is necessary because none of us know what day or what hour we might need that safety net.
That's right. And this has become so extreme, dear sister, that Marjorie Taylor Greene is damn near sounding like a liberal.
Come on.
That's how extreme it has become to sound her own party. All right.
You're right, Doc. I'm rolling with her on this one, Doc. I'm rolling with her.
Exactly. We'll bring updates as they come. We got more on the other side. Indisputable, stick and stay.
Hey everyone, Matteo Scarapore here, author of Black Buck, which is Shop TYT's first fiction book ever. I'm honored. So, Black Buck is about a young man named Darren who's living in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. He lives with his mom, he has his girlfriend, he has his best friend, he has his neighborhood, and his neighborhood has him. Darren's also working at a Starbucks in Midtown Manhattan. And one day, this man, real suave and good looking, comes in and asks Darren to give him his regular. But for some reason, Darren says no. This man named Rhett Daniels, who's the CEO of a startup called Someone, located on the 36th floor of the same building, is impressed. And he invites Darren upstairs, and then he extends an offer to join his elite sales team. Darren reluctantly joins, and he soon realizes that he's not the only Black salesperson there. He's the only Black person in the entire company. So he goes through hell and back in order to make it to the top. And once there, he has status, money, power, but he says, you know what? I don't like being the token Black guy. So he hatches a plan to help other people of color infiltrate America's tech startup sales teams, redefining what it means to be a minority in the workplace. This book definitely, if you couldn't tell, touches on many things that are relevant to this moment that we're all living in right now. But it's also connected to the many moments in history that have come before today. I hope that you read it. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you want to order a copy, go to shoptyt.com. Thank you. Be well. Happy 2021.
Here's the inside scoop on diners in LA. You want good pastrami sandwich, you go to Factors. You want to see some people in the business, you go to Nate and Al's. You want the best variety? My secret spot's the Nosh. Now here's the inside scoop on politics and news. You go watch the Young Turks live every day at 6 o'clock Eastern.
All right, welcome back. Always good to be with you. Let's talk about chapter. All right. It's Medicare annual enrollment time. If you're 64 or over 64, you have probably already received a bunch of spam calls, junk mail, and it's easy to tune it out. But this message actually does matter. All right. So here's what you need to know. Medicare plans change every single year. Many are canceled for 2026. If you don't review your options, you risk overpaying or losing the coverage you need. If this isn't you, but it may be your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, this may be your uncle, your aunt, your brother, your cousin, your friend. Make sure you let them know. So I'm telling you about the trusted Medicare partner called Chapter. These folks are different. They look at every plan in the country, not just the ones that pay big commissions. To find what truly fits your life, your needs, and your budget is quick, it's easy. Chapter can review your options in under 20 minutes, so you don't have to spend a bunch of time. If your plan's already the best one for you, they will let you know that. They have put it out there, and they will abide by their word according to them. So if not, they'll help you switch. Real simple. It's worth it. You can save an average of about $1,100, often much more. You can call Chapter after the show. 1-800-965-4108. That's 1-800-965-4108 to make sure you're protected and ready for 2026. Guaranteed to be some changes. We're trying to work on making sure you don't have to go through this every year. All right? All right. Okay. Hell of a thing. A man was taken to jail for saying something about the deceased Charlie Kirk. Here's a video.
And just to clarify, this is what they charged him with.
Okay.
Threatening mass violence at a school.
At school?
It's referring to the school. I have no idea. That's what they've called us for, and I ain't got a clue.
I played on Facebook. I threatened no one. I know you don't give a
I ain't got a clue. I just had to do what I had to do.
I've been in Facebook.
I'm not saying you did or didn't do anything.
No, I did do, but I didn't think you committed a crime.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you did or did not commit a crime.
I may have been, but I'm
That's not illegal.
Oh, I have a background to give you. Put it up full mass here. According to The Intercept, Larry Bouchard Jr. posted trolling memes on a Facebook thread on September 21st about a vigil for Charlie Kirk, and he's been in a Tennessee jail ever since. Now see, Larry about to get paid. I'm going to tell you why. The meme in question is this. We have to get over it. Yeah, that's the meme in question, ladies and gentlemen. The post had gotten the attention of Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems. You see, Nick, that is the sheriff. Nick, I'm telling you this, sir, because I think I care about you more than you care about yourself. You look like you just came from a cocaine binge. I don't know where you took that picture, sir, or who was in charge of your lighting, but please get you a new communications director, sir. This is not flattering at all. So the county sheriff, Nick Weems, an avid Facebook user himself, Weems had shared the information about the Kirk vigil on his own page a few days earlier. He had also posted his own emotional response to the news of Kirk's murder in September, warning about the evil in our midst. Quote, evil could be your neighbor. He wrote, quote, evil could be standing right beside you in the grocery store. It could be your own family member, and you never know it, sir. You're sounding paranoid, sir. Weems contacted his investigator. Okay. Just under an hour later in Lexington, Larry wrote a 2-line post on Facebook at 7:53 p.m., received a visit from Lexington PD regarding my posted memes on what's happening in Perry County. He wrote, the police had come to the behest of Perry County, he said, but did not elaborate. If he was concerned, Larry Bouchard didn't show it. He went back to posting after the visitation from the cops at about 9:48 p.m. Larry Bouchard shared a meme from a page called Blue Wave 2026 featuring an unhinged looking Roseanne Barr. Quote, many MAGA are claiming that Obama used the pressure of his office and the FCC to get Roseanne canceled, just like Trump did to Kimmel, it read. Except Obama wasn't president in 2018. Care to guess who was? End quote. That's called a statement of fact, actually. It would be his last post that night. So at 11:15 p.m., police knocked on his door again. This time there were 4 police officers, one of whom was holding a warrant for his arrest, which had been sent from Perry County. Body camera footage obtained by The Intercept shows police following Larry Bouchard inside his house and waiting while he slips on his shoes. Then they handcuff him on his front porch, lead him away. Arriving at the local jail, the officer with the warrant unfolded the piece of paper. Quote, just to clarify, this is what they charge you with, he told Bouchard, pointing and reading aloud. Threatening mass violence at a school. End quote. Bouchard Jr. faces felony charges for threatening a mass shooting at Perry County High School, even though Sheriff Nick Weems admits the meme does not actually contain any threatening words that led investigators to think it was a real threat. The case, Weems said, hinges on how some people in Perry County may have interpreted the meme that noted Trump's response to a school shooting in Perry, Iowa. Bouchard has sat in jail for more than a month, unable to make the $2 million bond set by the local judge. You already got to know this is corruption, and the fix is in. People are locked up for murder, don't even get a $2 million bond. The sheriff is interesting. Put him back up again. So the sheriff admits, he says, well, there's no threatening language in the meme itself. This is about the interpretation of some people. Well, you would have a point here, Sheriff, if we were talking about civil law, because civil law provides that allowance, meaning you can say something about another person, and it's not really about what you said. It is about the subjective interpretation of what was said about that person to another individual, meaning, generally speaking, would a person believe that this is negative? Well, if that's the case, civilly, you may be on the hook for something. But, sir, not only is it not contextualized in criminal law, you would have a hard time even landing that case in a civil court. Quote, this has everything to do with the guy coming onto a Perry County page, posting this picture, leading people in our community to believe that there was a hypothetical Perry County high school shooting that caused fear in our community. And we done something about it. That's how he talks, okay? He said, we done something about it, Sheriff Weems said in an exclusive interview with News Channel 5 Investigates. You are right, sir. You've done something about it. Opened yourself in your personal capacity, opened your investigators in their personal capacity, and your sheriff's office in its professional capacity to an upcoming lawsuit. That's what you have done. You are actively engaged in defunding the police, and obviously proud of it because you decided to give an interview, and I'm sure without any counsel present, just based on what you've said. News Channel 5 investigates noted, quote, it doesn't say Perry County High School, quote, it says Perry High School mass shooting one day after, okay? That led people to believe in our county that he's talking about Perry County High School because it doesn't say Iowa either. We pressed the sheriff, but you also knew this was an existing meme that was already out there on the internet, correct? The sheriff agreed, yeah. Again, we noted. So it's clear he's not talking about Perry County High School. We knew, the sheriff said. The public did not know. Ah, damn. Put the sheriff back up. Sheriff, I'm now convinced you were on the cocaine binge the night before the interview. You just admitted, sir, that the police were aware that no crime has taken place. You said we knew that there was nothing illegal about this. But see, the people, well, guess what, sir? Statutory. That doesn't override the knowledge of the investigator. If that was the standard, that means an investigator can say, well, listen, I knew the guy didn't do it. But see, all these people in the community thought he did, and so we had to go ahead and arrest him. Doesn't make sense now, does it? All right. It wasn't your best day, I know. Okay. News Channel 5 had one more question for the good old sheriff here. They said he done something. Quote, in your heart, do you think Larry Bouchard was threatening to shoot up Perry County High School? In my heart, he responded, I think Larry Bouchard knew what he was doing once we made contact with him or when law enforcement made contact with him. I believe that he knew what he was doing. And in my heart, he violated the law set forth by our legislators. Put him up, man. Man, you getting all these other folks involved. All right, so Weems said the arrest was also approved by the district attorney. He's done got the judge involved, $2 million on the bond. He got the DA involved. This DA signed off on the arrest, as did the judicial commissioner. Weems had been happy to publicize Bouchard's arrest at first. In the earliest news story on September 22nd, local radio station WOPC published Bouchard's mugshot along with a statement from the sheriff who said that Bouchard's meme had alluded to, quote, a hypothetical shooting at a place called Perry High School, according to Weems. Quote, that message caused considerable concern within the community, and we were asked to investigate. Yet there were no public signs of this alleged hysteria. Once again, Sheriff, you sound paranoid, sir. That's one of the effects of cocaine abuse. I'm not saying that's what you were doing, sir. I'm just saying to you, you sound paranoid, okay? Nor was there much evidence of an actual investigation, just some cops coming to the house arresting Mr. Bouchard, or any efforts to warn the county schools. So you did not inform the schools that you believed had been threatened. Although the Perry County School District did not respond to messages from the Intercept, attorneys with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression filed a series of open records requests with the school district asking for any communications to or from staff pertaining to the case, including terms like shooting, threat, and meme. In response, the director of schools wrote that there were no records related to Larry's case. quote, the Perry County Sheriff's Department handled this situation, end quote. He wrote, meaning that's something they did on their own. You barking up the wrong tree. We knew nothing about this. That's what the school system has said. Now, I remember, ironically, what is this about? Charlie Kirk. But it's not really about Charlie Kirk, okay? Charlie Kirk decided to embrace the dark side. He decided to engage in a political back and forth that restricted individuals, that othered people, that said things like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. never deserved a holiday. That's what he said. He decided to be adversarial to Black women in particular. He decided to embrace the politics of restriction. He decided to no longer embrace the civility of engagement. He made that decision. Here's what's ironic about this arrest, this level of intolerance by government officials. The Constitution was actually written to protect your speech from governmental intrusion just like this. This is probably one of the most egregious, outright violations of constitutional law. So much so, the sheriff doubled down, and then doubled down again. Interviews and written commentary. Nobody's backing him. The school system isn't backing him. You got three human beings. You got the sheriff, you got a judge, and you got a DA who was all willing to do this to Mr. Bouchard. Guaranteed to come back on the powers that be based on the law, based on the rules. But they say they did this in the name of Charlie Kirk because, well, they believe, according to the narrative here, that you can't talk against old Charlie. Now, they will try to make it seem like it's something other than. Don't get distracted. And anytime somebody tells you that this is okay, I want you to remind them of Kirk's own words while he was living before he went to the dark side of this political game. Here it is.
America is a unique place where allowing the best ideas to win is both the means for progress and the essence of freedom. Threats to debate suffocate the air within churches and classrooms, spoil dinners amongst friends, and give unwarranted failing grades to college students and deprive American institutions of conversation. That is over, starting now on debate night. Here, all ideas are welcome and conversation is the point. We'll present two sides of an issue and let both points breathe. This isn't for the sake of winning an argument, but for exercising and thus preserving our right to free speech. America is not debatable, but ideas are.
Isn't that something? In the name of Charlie Kirk, these folks have manipulated people. They have manipulated the Constitution. They have manipulated the Bible. They will manipulate God in order to get their way. So please believe me, they are manipulating you today. This is who they are. And they utilize individuals, dead or alive, like pawns in order to express their own bias and hatred that was already in that damn sheriff in the first place, even though he took an oath to uphold the Constitution and protect your rights from people like himself. And those are the facts. All right, Senator, thoughts here.
This Sheriff Weems is an embarrassment to the residents of Perry County. They need to rethink him being their sheriff. The judge and the DA, I mean, Doc, this lawsuit is writing itself.
Yeah.
Mr. Bouchard and whatever attorney, I mean, they have just handed him this lawsuit on a silver platter. I'm really having a WTF moment about this when I was listening to you. I write WTF. Trumped up charges, no pun intended, overreach, wasting taxpayers' dollars, and you hit it on the nail. What happened to freedom of speech? And my grandmother used to say, don't write a check, your behind can't cash. But hopefully Mr. Bouchard is going to get one big enough to bounce a bank.
That's right. And the more days he stays inside of that
Yeah.
jail, the more they calculate lost income, lost wages, punitive damages, all of that accrues the longer he stays inside of that county jail with a ridiculous $2 million bond. We're going to stay on top of this story. All right. Hell of a thing. Our dear brother, Mayor Mondale Robinson, interacts with a racist neighbor. Here it is.
You're showing up like a racist right now. You're angry.
Damn, I'm glad
You're
that
an angry
I'm
Karen
on
right now.
Facebook.
You're showing up like an angry Karen.
Well, you know what you are?
Yeah. I have one.
Probably about like this.
In your mouth.
In your mama's.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yes.
That's sweet.
I went to infield graded school.
What does that mean?
Inboard.
What does that mean?
I learned all that.
You learned it. Oh, you learned it from the black people.
Just as
You learned that from the black people.
derogative
You
as
think you learned this nastiness from black people? No, man. This shit is part of your culture.
It's
you
part of yours,
are
too.
the problem.
No, I'm not.
You walked out your house because you saw me and my wife going to get a cup of coffee to be this nasty. You could have kept your nasty ass in the house. You chose to come
You
out here
could have kept
and
your
bother me.
nasty ass.
Well, you see, our dear brother, Mayor Mondale, he's not a take the high road kind of guy. He's I will take the same road that you came traveling on. I have to take that road sometimes myself. I don't always take the same route. So this individual decided to utilize the avenue of racism in order to become adversarial to her mayor, the mayor of Enfield, Mayor Mondale Robinson. Mayor Robinson, if you remember, who has been a guest on this show many times and is a personal friend of mine. Mayor Robinson ran for mayor specifically to root out white supremacy in Enfield. So literally, he ran against the sentiment, the personality, the character that he faced off against. And listen, he has always been an in-your-face mayor. As a matter of fact, that's why he got voted in, because people wanted someone who would stand up to this kind of racism. Now, when he was on the show a time back when, we were talking about a mayor named Bart Littlejohn endured racial comments from multiple bigots during a meeting. We previously discussed with Mayor Mondale how does he conduct his meetings and what would he have done if individuals came inside of his meeting to incite violence. Here it is. You are Mr. Mayor. You have to govern these similar types of meetings. People get to say what they choose to say. Give us some of the rules here.
Listen, you get 3 minutes to speak in our town, and I can shut your ass down when I get ready. And I promise you, and I just say this is a disclaimer, TYT does not condone violence, but I would whoop their ass. I promise you. I'm the wrong mayor. You are not. The first one would have got you in trouble with me. I am not Bart. Do not bring it to my town. I am not Bart. And for, like you said, there's a lot of speech that is not free. Right. Incitement. If you're inciting harm or violence, then that is not protected by free speech.
The mayor is correct. Your free speech has limitations, or let's call them responsibilities. Your freedom of speech cannot be utilized in order to incite violence, regardless of the forum. If it does, well, you're not under the protection order of that said speech if you are utilizing it to exact violence. Now, put them up full mask. I'm going to give you some background to this and some foreground. So the mayor of Enfield, North Carolina, our dear brother, has fought against white supremacy, torn down Confederate monuments, and launched the Black Male Voter Project. We have highlighted that project many times on the show. But despite all his achievements, he still faces racist insults when he's walking down the street of his own city. In a video making the rounds on social media, the 40-plus Mondale Robinson can be seen defending himself against a wild accusation from a white female neighbor who confronted him as he was heading out for coffee with his wife. Robinson and the woman were having a heated exchange when she blurted out, quote, "You are jealous because you're not white." That's what she said. You are jealous because you're not white. Can we just pause on this for a moment? If you believe that in your heart of hearts, that another person is jealous because they are not white, anything you say is perverted by that lens. I don't see how you can say anything that is not racist if you're talking truth of what you really believe. If you believe a black male is just jealous of you because of your white epidermis. There's more. Robinson and the woman were in this exchange. She yelled out, "You're jealous because you're not white," to which he quickly responded, quote, "I don't want to be white," end quote. The insults continued in a follow-up video where the woman blamed her offensive behavior on the black community of Enfield, whose population is 1,864, is 85% African American. After insulting his manhood, she told him, quote, "I went to Enfield grade school. I learned all that ish just like you did. I can be just as derogatory as you can." Response, "You think you learned this nastiness from black people?" he asked. Quote, "You are the problem." Now, our dear brother's no stranger to confrontation. After joining the Marines and earning an associate's degree in political science, he traveled across the country as a political consultant before returning to North Carolina to mobilize voters. He told public radio station WUNC that he became Enfield's mayor in 2022 to stop the white supremacy that had historically plagued the town. And one of his first major actions, he bulldozed a local Confederate monument in the wake of George Floyd's murder. White men with guns showed up by the truckload on his street the next day. In the recent video posted in late October, he didn't back down either, telling the woman, quote, "You're showing up like a racist right now. You're showing up like an angry Karen," end quote. Judging by the comments on Instagram, Mundell voiced the feelings of many. Quote, "Delegation of Black people statement, we have never wanted to be white, respectfully," one wrote. Another astonished commenter added, quote, do they really think we want to be white? I've never heard this before. White, really? Like, people are genuinely confused that this is part of the psychology, I would say. Put up the picture again of him bulldozing the Confederate monuments. It's a beautiful story behind this, by the way. Very beautiful story. As a matter of fact, when this happened, I was hosting the Rashad Rich Morning Show in Atlanta, Georgia. This is when I first was introduced to who this brother was. Loved it. The rule that the state had made, the state said, you can't remove these monuments. That was during the time when state governments were acting ridiculous as it relates to local control. The local people, vast majority African American, they no longer wanted to look at symbols of their own oppression and pay for these symbols at that. Pay how? By way of maintenance, maintaining the structures and maintaining the land around it. But see, the state passed a rule, but failed to truly protect the monument. They just said taxpayer dollars cannot be used to do this, that it cannot be done by government workers. They tried to go through this whole list. And so what the mayor did after he was elected and duly sworn in, he went and got a sledgehammer and tried to knock it down himself. And he said it was Confederate strong. And so that racism was built in. So he went and rented a bulldozer that night and bulldozed it himself, thus following the rules. Yes, he was investigated. Yes, they wanted to lock him up. And yes, he was exonerated because he technically followed the law when he did it. That's how he came in as their mayor. So we with you, dear brother. Continue to fight the good fight. Senator, thoughts here?
Yeah, we with the mayor all the way. I loved every clip that you played. That is the mayor that we know and that we love. I was thinking about how Black people, American Black people in particular, are the most emulated people on the planet. And this chick talking about you mad because you ain't white. Which in those words, in and of themselves, as you laid out from the moment she spoke them out of her words, everything else she said was voided. But Doc, you know what else she said? She didn't say, but it's subliminal. It's in the subconscious. You want to be white, therefore I recognize my white skin privilege. That's what she said. So
that's what it is right there. Yep.
Right there, Doc. And so as much as people who think like her, because I won't put everybody in the same category, want to say that Black people are somehow preoccupied with identity politics. No, sir, no, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. You all are preoccupied with quote unquote identity politics. You started it from the inception of the nation. It was one identity and one identity only that you uplifted as superior to all others. So, Doc, they know. But she got the right one. She got the right one that day. He said, you know, my mama used to say, wherever you act out, that's why I'm whooping your behind.
Right.
And I think Mayor Mondale, that's how he rolls.
That's old school right there. That's old school politics. Mama them.
Mama them.
We'll bring you updates if there's an update to bring. We got more on the other side. Indisputable. Stick and stay.
Hey everyone, Mateo Scarapore here, author of Black Buck, which is Shop TYT's first fiction book ever. I'm honored. So, Black Buck is about a young man named Darren who's living in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. He lives with his mom, he has his girlfriend, he has his best friend, he has his neighborhood, and his neighborhood has him. Darren's also working at a Starbucks in Midtown Manhattan. And one day, this man, real suave and good looking, comes in and asks Darren to give him his regular. But for some reason, Darren says no. This man named Rhett Daniels, who's the CEO of a startup called Someone, located on the 36th floor of the same building, is impressed. And he invites Darren upstairs, and then he extends an offer to join his elite sales team. Darren reluctantly joins, and he soon realizes that he's not the only Black salesperson there. He's the only Black person in the entire company. So he goes through hell and back in order to make it to the top. And once there, he has status, money, power, but he says, you know what? I don't like being the token Black guy. So he hatches a plan to help other people of color infiltrate America's tech startup sales teams, redefining what it means to be a minority in the workplace. This book definitely, if you couldn't tell, touches on many things that are relevant to this moment that we're all living in right now. But it's also connected to the many moments in history that have come before today. I hope that you read it. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you want to order a copy, go to shoptyt.com. Thank you. Be well. Happy 2021.
Here's the inside scoop on diners in LA. You want good pastrami sandwich, you go to Factors. You want to see some people in the business, you go to Nate and Al's. You want the best variety? My secret spot's the Nosh. Now here's the inside scoop on politics and news. You go watch the Young Turks live every day at 6 o'clock Eastern.
All right, welcome back. Always good to be with you. Tonight, 7 p.m., virtual. You can tune in. The King Center, the beloved community. I will be hosting this show, this live event, with some very familiar individuals who have been part of advocacy and significantly transforming the voice of the culture for many years. Very thankful to to Dr. Bernice King, the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., she served as the CEO of the King Center, and she typically will host this show, and she has me hosted on occasion, and she is on the panel tonight. So I'm looking forward to another opportunity to host for the King Center. Tune in tonight if you can. Just go to the website or go to their social media pages. We run these things on live stream just for you. All right? Love to see you tonight at 7 p.m. for an interesting conversation about The Letter Still Speaks, talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the letter. Okay? All right. Look forward to seeing you. All right, we got a lot of comments. I will read as many as I can. Yeah. Haiku Dragon. When playing a game of chicken, if neither party gives in, all you end up with is a huge head-on collision and painfully unnecessary death. Nobody wins. That's correct. I think this is Narc Burgess. Most of us are one paycheck away from homelessness. Damn shame, Doc. That's right. It's a damn shame. Because you already paid for it. You prepaid for it, actually. Prepaid for this. Bernie, the Kiwi Dragon, Dr. Richard made it funny. That's right. Be the Sage. Be the LLC says this is how church is supposed to be. That's right. I haven't seen any of our Christian evangelical churches say the same thing. Hey, don't give any money this week. Give it to each other. But if you do, I'll highlight you, though. I'm an equal opportunity guy. Okay? And I will read one more. Nightmare 316. Mayor got himself a I wish a Karen Wood moment. That's right. He did, real life. Very interesting. All right, got something for you, ladies and gentlemen. I wish a Karen would.
You want to call the police on them for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free! Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Go back to the plantation, boy. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, boy? Don't come near me.
Do what you gotta do. I want you to spray me. I want you to spray me.
Boy!
Ain't nobody worry about you.
Yeah, thank you, boy.
Ma'am, see what you done did. You know, went and got famous. Put it up for him, ass. I know. You were having a bad day. That's not normally how you respond. You don't have a racist bone in your body. Ask anybody. You have black friends. You go to church. You love Jesus. All right. So we don't have a whole lot of information about this particular Karen that we can identify other than the fact that she is, in fact, racist. Said racist things. And by the comfort and the tonality of her racism, I would bet that she has done this many times before. This is not her first time saying boy in such an egregious way. Ma'am, I hope somebody loves you enough to do an intervention. It is time. You have landed on indisputable. This is a mirror for you. It's an opportunity at reflection and correction. I hope you take it as that. Senator, thoughts here?
Doc, I can't. I just cannot. I wish I had papers next to me. I would throw them.
No, I don't know either.
Go back to the plantation. Let me just, I'm going to recommend this book again because it's real simple, How to Be Less Stupid. About race, Doc. We brought this book up before by Dr. Crystal Fleming.
Yes.
Somebody needs to gift her that along with that intervention. I want that part of the intervention plan.
Yes.
I want people to understand this. This is yet another example of what we're talking about, folks. So before any of you fix your mouths, and I'm not talking about our audience, Doc, I'm talking about them other audiences, to talk about how Black people are always dwelling on the past, re-roll this tape. Now, first of all, the Black gentleman that she was talking to, unless he visited a plantation in the South for memory's sake, has never been enslaved on a plantation. So the fact that she would tell him to go back to the plantation, boy, it's just wholly out of order for many, many reasons, but she need to check her century. She in the wrong century. So that's number one. Number two, the fact that she used those specific words in talking to a Black man lets me further know that she understands exactly what she is doing and the searing impact, psychological impact that speaking those exact words have and have had on Black people throughout the generations in this nation that we call the United States of America. This is a specific type of bigotry and racism, and it's called anti-Black racism. Doc, I yield my time.
Yeah, that part. Very well said. All right. We got more on the other side. Stick and stay.
Hey everyone, Mateo Scarapore here, author of Black Buck, which is Shop TYT's first fiction book ever. I'm honored. So, Black Buck is about a young man named Darren who's living in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. He lives with his mom, he has his girlfriend, he has his best friend, he has his neighborhood, and his neighborhood has him. Darren's also working at a Starbucks in Midtown Manhattan. And one day, this man, real suave and good looking, comes in and asks Darren to give him his regular. But for some reason, Darren says no. This man named Rhett Daniels, who's the CEO of a startup called Someone, located on the 36th floor of the same building, is impressed. And he invites Darren upstairs, and then he extends an offer to join his elite sales team. Darren reluctantly joins, and he soon realizes that he's not the only Black salesperson there. He's the only Black person in the entire company. So he goes through hell and back in order to make it to the top. And once there, he has status, money, power, but he says, you know what? I don't like being the token Black guy. So he hatches a plan to help other people of color infiltrate America's tech startup sales teams, redefining what it means to be a minority in the workplace. This book definitely, if you couldn't tell, touches on many things that are relevant to this moment that we're all living in right now. But it's also connected to the many moments in history that have come before today. I hope that you read it. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you want to order a copy, go to shoptyt.com. Thank you, be well, and happy 2021.
Here's the inside scoop on diners in LA. You want good pastrami sandwich, you go to Factors. You want to see some people in the business, you go to Nate and Al's. You want the best variety? My secret spot's the Nosh. Now here's the inside scoop on politics and news. You go watch the Young Turks live every day at 6 o'clock Eastern.
All right, welcome back. What if I told you that somebody decided to shoot another person just for honking the horn? That's exactly what the allegation is. Put up the picture full mass here. A woman fatally shot a Black man for honking his horn at her. Road rage incident turned fatal in Indiana after authorities say a 23-year-old woman shot and killed a driver who honked at her. The shooting took place October 17th in Indianapolis. Deborah Benefield is now facing murder and criminal recklessness charges in connection with the death of the 21-year-old Kentrell Settles. Put him up. 21 years of age. According to a probable cause affidavit obtained by the Indy Star, police responded to shots fired. A shots fired call in the city This was on the west side, where they found the young Mr. Settles with a gunshot wound inside of a gold 2006 Chevrolet Malibu. He was rushed to a local hospital in critical condition, where he was pronounced dead. The bullet that hit the young Settles struck his lung and heart before lodging in his chest. Settles' girlfriend told investigators that Settles had picked her up earlier that afternoon to take her to a parent's home. They stopped at a red light behind a mint green Ford SUV driven by a woman. When the woman did not start driving after the light turned green, Mr. Settles did what anyone would have done typically and honked the horn. That's what it's for. It's courtesy. Honked the horn at her, then drove around the car. The SUV began following the 21-year-old, and the woman inside was yelling, screaming, and throwing her hands around while inside the vehicle, court documents state. When the young Mr. Settles attempted to turn on another street, the woman caught up with him and fired one shot into his car, striking him in the chest. Settles' girlfriend immediately hopped in his lap and drove the rest of the way to a parent's home where she called 911. She said the shooter simply drove away. It would take police using license plate readers to track down the shooter. It helped detectives locate the green SUV and its owner just a few days after the shooting. Investigators learned that Benefield was the owner's daughter. She told police that the gun she used was in a bag in her apartment. Cops found a .40 caliber Glock handgun in the purse, according to court documents. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears said that Benefield had no prior criminal history before the shooting and called the crime absolutely senseless. Quote, "We see a lot of road rage incidents in the city, but this one is distinguishable because of a single honk of the horn," Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears told IndyStar. Quote, "Usually there's more than just a horn that gets people fired up on the road, whether it's yelling or trying to brake check someone. This just illustrates a complete senselessness." Settles' father, Kenneth Murph, said that his son was loved by so many people and that his life was taken for no reason. Quote, "He didn't do anything wrong. And for it to still happen, it troubles you as a father," Murph said. I can only imagine. Thoughts and prayers with the family and the girlfriend and the friends of this brother. He was trying to just get away. He turned down the street trying to avoid confrontation. He beeped the horn, drove around the car when the car did not respond to the horn being honked. He moved on with his life. But this individual, put it back up again. This individual decided not to let him move on and wanted to do something to harm him. The young man should be alive, and let's put up the young man again. His life means something. His life means something. Once again, thoughts and prayers with the family. Senator, thoughts?
Definitely, Doc, I echo your sentiments in terms of the thoughts and prayers to his family. This was indeed senseless, and it is yet a very real example why everybody should not have a gun in this country. And you just want to pop off. I mean, if that sends you over the top in terms of pulling out a gun, I mean, I know people have words back and forth, but if that pushes you over the top so much so you got to pull out a gun and just shoot people like that, then you need help. You need help before that. And a special prayers out to the girlfriend. Doc, I can't even imagine being in that vehicle. She could have been killed or injured herself, and just what it would take to hop in the driver's seat and drive her boyfriend to his parents' house. My God, my God. Well, Benefield is her name, and she will have her day in court.
Yeah, she will. She will. We'll bring you updates as they develop. All right. A racist arrested for attacking a black male with a large chain, tried to blame it on provocation. Put it up full mass. Hell of a story here. So a man in Arkansas decided to beat a black man riding his bike with a heavy chain and then told the officers, oh yeah, I did it because I was provoked to do it, which was a lie. Tanner Chase Thomas Bobbitt is now facing second-degree battery, a Class D felony, after the October 17th incident in Jonesboro, Arkansas. We have the details. According to court documents cited by KAIT News, the victim told police that he was riding his bike to his friend's house when he heard Bobbitt suddenly call him the slur and threaten him. That's called inciting violence. The victim said that when he confronted Bobbitt, Bobbitt retrieved a chain from his pocket and hit the victim in the head with it. Quote, victim states he confronted Bobbitt about what he had said, and Bobbitt produced a chain from his pocket and struck him in the head with it, end quote, the police affidavit said. Quote, officers noted a laceration to the head, which was actively bleeding, end quote. When authorities got Bobbitt's side of the story, the 22-year-old reportedly, quote, stated that he did indeed call the victim the racial slur and hit him with the chain, but claimed he was provoked first, end quote. Police searched Bobbitt and found a 1.5-foot long metal log chain in his jacket pocket. He was booked into the county detention center. During his bond hearing, he claimed self-defense. According to the NEA report, his bail was set at $20,000, payable in cash or by surety. It's no surprise that this is not the first time allegedly causing harm to another person this person has been accused of. So Bobbitt faced felony charges last year after being accused of stabbing a homeless man in the back with a screwdriver. According to local news reports, Bobbitt claimed the victim attacked him first by slicing his heel with a machete. Investigators viewed and photographed Bobbitt's heels, which had blisters consistent with footwear rubbing against his heels, not a machete. According to a police report, the report continues, quote, the marks on his heels were not made from a machete striking him, end quote. Sounds like a typical coward who incites violence. And as we have said many times on Indisputable, you don't get to utilize your freedom of speech without responsibility. And if you utilize it to incite violence and violence comes, you cannot then claim self-defense when that happens. And this is case in point. Police got it right in this one. Senator, thoughts here?
Yeah, glad that the police did get it right on this. Bobbitt will have his day in court, and I think I got a clue about the type of racial slur he used.
Right, exactly.
That young man.
There you go. All right, well, it's going viral. A man dressed up as a Nazi and assaults a woman at a Georgia bar. Here it is.
Touch him. Don't touch him. He's in my, are you in my accounting class? Yeah! What up, bro? What's good, bro? How are you? Look at this guy. This is terrible. What the your problem? I don't know what you want. Is this serious? What is happening? No, I have no idea. We're seeing. No.
All right, here's the background. Put it up full mass. Damn shame. Kenneth Leland Morgan, 32 years old, in Georgia, was arrested early Friday morning after violent confrontation outside a bar. An event that began with him dressed up as a Nazi. The altercation left a University of Georgia student with a broken nose, cuts to her face, and a black eye. In case it's not clear in the video just what the man was doing, videos posted to social media show the man smashing a glass beer into the woman's face during an argument that erupted as people confronted him over the Nazi attire. which included the swastika armband. Athens Clarke County Jail records identify the man as 32-year-old Kenneth Leland Morgan, a nearby resident. He was booked at about 2:56 a.m. Friday on charges of simple battery and aggravated assault. As of Saturday afternoon, he remained in jail without bond. Classic City News reported that Morgan was dressed as a member of the Gestapo, the Nazi secret police. The University of Georgia said the assault happened off campus but involved one of its students. In a statement, the university said officials were, quote, horrified and thanked Athens Clarke County Police for arresting the suspect. Quote, the man is not a student and is not affiliated with the university. His actions, which were caught on videotape, are appalling. And we are grateful to the Athens Clarke County police officers for swiftly apprehending and arresting him, the statement said. The victim, UGA student Grace Long, told the Red and Black she was at Cutter's Pub with a Jewish friend who noticed the man dressed in a Nazi uniform and confronted him. When the man tried to enter the bar, Lang says she stepped between them and attempted to remove the armband to remove a hate symbol. She said the man responded by swinging a large beer mug directly into her face. Lang told the student newspaper she suffered a broken nose and needed 4 stitches at the ER. Quote, I was at Cutter's Pub with a Jewish friend when the man in a Nazi uniform tried to enter the bar, she said, explaining why she intervened in the confrontation. I tried to rip off his swastika armband. Social media footage, some later removed by moderators, shows multiple people shouting at the man before the sudden strike that knocked Lang back and stunned the crowd. Photos shared online show what appears to be the same man being handcuffed near the West Washington Street park deck shortly afterward. Let's put it up. It was not yet clear whether investigators are exploring hate crime enhancements or additional charges related to the Nazi symbols. Atlanta Black Star reports answers are expected when police release the full incident report and Morgan's next court appearance is set. I will say this. A hate crime statute should be applied because it doesn't necessarily require that you yell a racial slur. You exhibited one. You exhibited the racism by your attire. So let's be very clear about the statute and the statutory qualification. All right, Senator, thoughts here?
And he wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
And Halloween costume, is that what, I mean, you some kind of sick individual if you want to wear this for a Halloween costume or KKK, any of them kind of things. Doc, people know exactly what they are doing. So he got the type of reaction that he wanted to get. On top of that, he's an absolute coward to put his hands, and not just his hands, but use an instrument to strike
That's right, a weapon.
This woman. He's a coward, and he too will have his day in court.
There you go. Senator, always great to have you on the program. Tell people how they can follow you and check out your great work.
Always great to be with you, Doc, at Nina Turner on Twitter, Nina Turner Ohio on the gram. Strike for all for We Are Somebody. Won't y'all join us in this fight? We're standing up for working class people from all walks of life.
Amen to that. Thank you, dear sister, for all you do. All right. Remember, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.